you ever thought about how you may be repeating cycles over and over again? It may not be cycles, maybe it's certain situations with relationships and people. Maybe you keep seeing the same type of negativity and receiving that from others that you may not know, but it keeps happening over and over again and you're not quite sure why. Well, today we're going to be talking about the things that actually control that and how you can actually start to transform the way that you are proceeding your life on a day-to-day basis based off of just your patterns. Hi, what's up? My name is Candace and this is 1119, and welcome to today's video. We are going to be diving in both the cautious mind and the subconscious mind. What do these things do? How do they actually pertain to our day-to-day structure? And then also, how can we actually start to live more an intentional life just by understanding and recognizing these set patterns? Now, just like last week's video where we were talking about rewiring your brain and understanding the brain basics, we're going to be doing that today when it comes to learning both the cautious and the subconscious mind. To me, these two things do represent more of a masculine and a feminine energy, where one is just doing and the other one is feeling. The other one is more in tune to what your deeper soul energy is and the experiences that you've brought about. And the other one is just really helping you be in alignment to the things that you are setting your goals towards. Maybe it is your day-to-day routine, but these two things need to work together in order for you to feel balanced and or for you to really perceive and live your life the way that you have been currently living it. And if you've been on your healing journey for a while, which I feel like you have, hence you've seen this video, you are now in a space where you are cautiously starting to see certain things, and subconsciously you're starting to realize certain patterns, and you're wanting to know, how can I rewire my brain in a deeper way that allows me to see these things for what they really are? And with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into what exactly is the cautious mind. Now, as I mentioned just now, the cautious mind, in my opinion, it really is your masculine energy. This is where you get to set your short-term goals. You have your daily routine. These are the things that keep you kind of on your schedule within your day-to-day structure. And this is how you really are going to notice where your confidence and your willpower and your ability to just move, again, that masculine energy, that ability to really feel connected and to really embrace like what you need to be doing every single day to get to point B, C, D, and etc. And so your cautious mind, in my opinion, really does set the tone about how you are planning out your day to day. Not only does our cautious mind help with our patterns, but it also does help with analyzing data. It really does help us get to the equation, if you will. So 1 plus 1 does equal 2. Our cautious mind does find that information for us on a daily spectrum, if you will, and allows us to really come to that equal equation answer that we may need, right? Let's just say that you are cautiously trying to eat more healthy, right? You know you need to be eating healthy and not snacking, etc., etc. Your subconscious mind is telling you, remember, we need to eat healthy. So your cautious mind is saying, okay, what do we have in our kitchen that's going to keep us in this healthy regiment, this healthy routine, this healthy pattern, so that we can get to what we are desiring to be, which is something that your subconscious mind is outlining for you. So if, again, looking into an equation aspect, if we're trying to stay healthy and we're trying to not eat crappy, junky food, then our subconscious mind is triggering or signaling to our cautious mind saying, hey, cautiously, as you're out there looking for a snack right now, make sure it's carrots. Make sure it's something that's like a little bit healthy and not some Oreos, right? And when we do that, that equals us to keeping our short-term or long-term goals of staying healthy. We're being cautiously aware about what we're putting into our bodies, and we're making sure that our routine is in alignment to the things that we are wanting and desiring. I know that may sound like a convoluted, like weird thing to say, but just replay that if you need to. Which gives us into the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is really the things that are deep within us. It's our beliefs, it's our value system, it's our emotions, it's the triggers, it's the things that we may not see on a day-to-day aspect, but it is something that we have experienced in a previous life or a previous time frame in our lifespan. Now, to me, the subconscious mind is the most important. It is the feminine, it is the hidden, it is the deep within, it is our soul connection. It is the things that we've experienced as a kid that has outlined for us right now as we are in our adult age. And so, our subconscious mind really does have a huge stance on our belief system, our values, our learned behaviors from people that we look up to, as far as like our parents or family members, also friends as well. This is kind of where our brain goes into this automatic autopilot, kind of just going with the immediate responses. It's a muscle memory. It is things that are deeply ingrained into us when it comes to our habits. This is our subconscious mind. And just like I mentioned in our previous video on rewiring the brain, if we're taking a concept that I said last week about how our brain is a computer, the information that's being received from our conscious mind, our subconscious mind is now taking those information and putting it into file folders within our brain. Anything and everything that your conscious brain is experiencing, our subconscious brain is now taking that in as a memory and storing it into whatever section that it feels like it's connected to. This is also responsible for our long-term memories, our emotional responses, and this can also tie in heavily with our triggers. And lastly, but certainly not least, it's also our deep-rooted habits. Again, as we spoke about last week's video on understanding the brain and understanding how to unwire to rewire your habits, this is where the subconscious mind is. Our habits is deep rooted and deeply into our brain. And so if we're learning about our nasty ways that we do certain things or the good ways that we inherit our habits, this is where it's stored. It's stored in the subconscious mind. How are they related? How do they work together? How do they function? Our conscious mind is making decisions, but it's often influenced by our subconscious mind. I repeat that again. Our conscious mind is making decisions, but it is often influenced by our subconscious mind. Again, our subconscious mind, this is where our beliefs are hold. This is where our emotions, our triggers, things that we've experienced in the past have a way more bigger and deeper hold on us than our cautious, everyday things that we need to be more mindful of. Our subconscious mind literally can guide us and it can give us the clarity that we need, but it's subtle. Like, it's super fucking subtle. It is so subtle, it is very faint, and it's like if you literally are not cautious, if you're not really alert and being present about how you're feeling about yourself or the situation or about people or whatever it is, our subconscious mind can tell us what the problem is, but if we're not cautious about it, we're not really going to see it at all. Now, just to give you an example of that, because I love giving you guys examples just so you guys can kind of comprehend what I'm putting down, right? Let's just say you have a belief of unworthiness. I don't feel valued. Everything around me tells me that I'm not valued. I'm telling myself that I'm not valuable. I'm telling myself that I'm unworthy. I'm repeating the words that other people are telling me that I'm unworthy and unvaluable, right? If we're repeating these things in our mind over and over and over again, it will lead us to a space of cautiously making choices based off of those words. And it's subtle. It's not like in your face that you're doing it, but on a under deeper meaning level, right? If someone's saying something to us and we're receiving this from our cautious mind over and over and over again, you are basically telling your mind that this is it. That's correct. And our brain is going to look around for us in certain situations in our life and be like, yeah, you see how that just happened right there? Of course it happened to us because we're unworthy. Of course this will happen to us because there's no value in us. Like they said we had no value. We're telling us we have no value. So of course this thing will happen to us that would literally tell us that we have no freaking value. But the thing is that it's not it's not intentional. It's not something that you're trying to seek. It's the weird it's a weird conundrum because our subconscious mind literally does guide us, and it does provide us with subtle like hints, right? But if we are not cautiously aware of these things that we're feeling and thinking, we will, unbeknownst to us, intentionally start to gravitate towards those things. And that's how it's in our life, that's how it's being repeated, that's how those patterns, that's how those habits be redefined or being defined for us, because of how our subconscious mind can subtly come in, and we're cautiously trying to see where is that at. And if we're making those connections, then yes. Honestly, it's like, when I think about the two, you have to be cautiously aware about how you're thinking and feeling and spiritually connecting to things. Your beliefs and thoughts and feelings and values really do have a huge hold on you than you realize. And it's like, when you start to really give yourself that space to understand that, yeah, my subconscious beliefs and feelings towards myself that I didn't really know that were there, have led me down a space and a journey, or it's led me to certain patterns that I don't want to do anymore. Like, I don't want to keep repeating to myself that I'm ugly, I'm beautiful. I don't want to repeat to myself that I'm fat. I want to repeat to myself that I don't want to repeat to myself that I'm BROKE. Like, if you're trying to change something about yourself, you have to cautiously see and know that you're doing that, to then go back into your subconscious mind to rewire how your thought processes are coming to that conclusion that you are BROKE, or that you are fat, or that you're stupid and unworthy. You have to go back and forth and really rewire your mind in those aspects to really understand, this isn't me, this is what I want, so I have to rewire and change my mind. And this is where it comes to reprogramming. When you are in a space of really trying to change your mental dynamics, you have to mentally reprogram our brain. Again, I keep saying, I believe that our brains are like computers. Sometimes our brains need to be rebooted. Sometimes our brains need to get upgraded. Sometimes we need to delete a program and replace it with something else. That's the same thing and the same concept when it comes to our brain. When we are trying to understand certain things and our patterns, that means we have to go inside of our brain and understand what do we need to do in here that needs to be reset, that needs to be deleted, that needs to be recoded, if you will. What do I need to do in here so that my brain can start to cautiously and subconsciously be on the same level on something, instead of it being on two different levels? This is where you are intentionally introducing new patterns, new habits, affirmations. You're giving yourself that space to repeat and overwrite and re-establish new subconscious beliefs for your brain. This requires reprogramming, rewiring. And if you need to, please go check out my previous video where we talked about rewiring your brain for healthy habits based off of your subconscious and conscious mind. Also, when it comes to you reprogramming or re-establishing your processes up here, a few things. One, you need to be gentle with yourself, because once these things do come up, you're going to start to self-blame or feel guilt or be mad at yourself that you weren't aware of these things being happening into your life, and I need you to fucking stop. Coming from a Virgo rising, coming from a Scorpio, it's easy to self-defecate yourself and blame yourself because that's what you're used to. But if you didn't know, why would you be mad at yourself? How could you be mad at yourself? This is where you're healing your inner child, in my opinion, because if you're here, you've had someone in your life tell you that you're wrong, you're doing something incomplete when you had no idea that's how you're supposed to be done. You were being blamed and yelled at about something in some capacity, right? And so you formed or created or have that certain habit to where when something goes wrong and you didn't know, you want to self-blame yourself or be at that critical perfectionist individual and say, I didn't do it right the first time. Stop. How would you know how to do it right if you weren't taught to how to be doing it right? If you didn't have people that really provided that information or was that teacher and guide for you when you were younger, then how would you know? So I'm gonna need you to stop. The second thing that I will say too in regards to that is I need you guys to really be easy with your journaling and just allowing yourself to really word vomit, whether that's communicating that out, whether that's talking out loud, whether that's writing it. I want you to get out of here. Because sometimes being in here and having that conversation in here just goes you into this more rabbit hole where you're not really expressing the way that you need to, because it's it's staying stagnant in here instead of it being outward. It's like you are keeping it in your subconscious mind instead of you progressing it outward in the cautious masculine way. Does that make sense? So I need you guys to really be gentle with yourself as you are connecting to the subconscious mind through meditation or journaling. You are then expressing that outward in the masculine way so that you're not feeling so up here all the time, okay? I really need you guys to be gentle with yourself, because consistency and gentleness and repetition and catching yourself is how you start to retrain, reprogram, rewire your actual brain. And you got to be easy on yourself as you're going through this process. You're not going to be perfect, because the more you're getting triggered, the more you're understanding, the more certain things come about, you're going to want to figure that out and want to understand the why. Now, this is where insert therapy may be coming in, insert you finding someone to really help you express or understand the things that you're going through. It may not be a therapist, maybe it's a coach, I don't know, but this is where you're probably getting more assistance from someone so that they can help you with a different perspective in regards to your mind and how you've been able to process and heal and rewire and unwire your brain. Now, I kind of just dove into how they work together and how you can start to practice self-care ways to really dive into your brain. But let's just go ahead and talk way more about that, because over here, I love providing you guys with information and facts that also ties into the self-care and you actually getting the help that you need in actually practical ways for you to connect to your mind or whatever it is that you're trying to connect to. So with that being said, one of the best ways that you can really connect to your subconscious brain, to me, in my opinion, is meditation. And I know a lot of you guys don't like doing that, but I'm not sorry, because you're connecting to your subconscious mind through meditation is an easy way for you to just sit down and listen. Sometimes it's not about you talking. Sometimes it's about you just listening to what's coming up as a regurgitated fact in your mind. If there's certain thoughts and patterns that are coming up here and you're trying to quiet it or you're trying to understand it, meditate. And I've talked about this numerous times about like different forms of meditation. It's not just hum. No, not everybody can just hum and be in that zone space, okay? Sometimes meditation for people is cooking. Sometimes it's going to pottery. Sometimes it's actually cleaning. Sometimes you doing yoga is a form of mindful meditation, okay? I need you guys to try different things. Go out in nature, go for a walk. And when you go for a walk, don't have any music. Maybe just have headphones on so you're like not letting outside noises affect the way that you're feeling inward. But take yourself outside, do something different, experience. Mindfulness is basically just saying that you're giving your brain something to kind of focus on, but yet also allow yourself to receive information. It could also be the fact that maybe you're working, and maybe within your working, you're listening to lo-fi music, maybe you listen to frequency music, I don't know. But as you're just doing your day-to-day cautious stuff, subconsciously downloads start to come in. Subconsciously, you start to connect those dots like, damn, is that why I act like that? Sometimes you just need to give yourself that space, and one of the best ways, I'm going to say again, is doing meditations. Now, of course, you could do meditations that are 15-20 minutes. There's plenty here on YouTube. You could do nature music. I love frequency music. I love planetary frequency music, especially if you're trying to connect to your inner child or a certain planet aspect. There's a million different ways, in my opinion, how you can connect to yourself. There is no right or wrong way to do it. I just want you guys to try to connect yourself in a meditative state. The second thing that you guys can do is journal. And if it's not journaling, do voice notes. Open up that throat chakra. Give yourself that space to verbally communicate what you are feeling and experiencing. Sometimes our hand can't work fast enough. Sometimes we're not near a notepad. Sometimes us just talking to our phone and just verbally expressing ourselves is all that we need, especially if you were told as a kid that you need to shut up, what you say doesn't matter, your emotions or what you're thinking doesn't matter, and relationships are telling you that. Sometimes you just need a word vomit. And that word vomit sometimes need to be in the form of a voice note. So just do that. Writing it down, voice note, journaling, to the T. I'm gonna need y'all to start trying that out. Now, some different tools that are going to help access your subconscious mind are going to be the following: visualization. That is when you are tapping into this thing right here, your third eye, and you are connecting. Now, that could be through sleep meditations, which I fucking love. Doxy, he is a therapist. He is a licensed therapist, and he does 8-hour subconscious meditations. When I first started, I would pick one topic and I would have that be the one thing that I would listen to every single day. Because again, you are accessing your subconscious mind when you sleep. When we're sleeping, our subconscious mind is on fire. It's like resetting everything that we experience on a cautious day to that day, and it's saying, okay, let's just decompress, let's put everything into its rightful like folders, and we're gonna go night night. Visualization is a great way to achieve and get to connect to your higher self, your inner child, even your manifestations if you're trying to really dive into that subconscious. But your third eye, that's your energy right here. That's your subconscious mind. It is right here. And so visualizing these things, connecting to these things, beautiful way to do that. Okay? And even if you don't know how to visualize, it's about having imagination. Like the thing that we used to have and cherish as a kid, this is where we're amplifying that back up. With this visualization, how do you feel? What are the experiences that you're getting that's making you feel like, yes, I want to actually experience that in the present reality? So I'm going to continue to visualize that in my third eye every single day. Visualization. Another one is saying positive affirmations. Now, I know that I've provided affirmations for you guys. I've told you guys numerous times that the best affirmations are the ones that you come up with for yourself, because to me, it's personal. To me, you're coming from a place of me, like what you need, instead of what someone else's words were. So writing out words to replace the negative ones is a great way for you to reprogram your subconscious brain. If you need to reprogram your mind and you like saying words of affirmation, put a timer on your phone that says, every day I'm saying this. Put affirmations again in your mirror, or put sticky notes that really will help you outline and say, this is exactly what I want to say. And every single time I walk by this, or every single time I see this, I'm saying something positive about myself. And so positive affirmations, or just affirmations that you create for yourself, is another beautiful way to really connect to your subconscious mind. And one of my also favorites that I talked about in the self-love and spirituality challenge is EFT, and really connecting to your emotional triggers just by tapping. That's another way for you to really understand it. As you're getting triggered in the moment, you are cautiously stopping yourself and giving yourself different tapping motions that help re-advocate the way that you're thinking of being triggered. Also, in effect to that, you're using affirmations that say the opposite of that. So it's a double whammy if you were to use EFT tapping. So these are just different tools that you can utilize on your self-care journey as you're trying to tap in or to rewire your subconscious mind. So today we talked about understanding your conscious mind, understanding your subconscious mind, how those two work together, the different things that you can start doing right now to rewire or unwire your brain, as well as the self-care activities. Now I want to dive into how you can start to be more self-aware on your cautious day-to-day. We talked about the subconscious things on what you can do. Now let's talk about the cautious things that you can do on your day-to-day routine that would allow you to be more alert or more cautious about your routine. Now, I talked about this a little bit in the previous video with learning your brain basics, but I think if you haven't started already, I need you to at least, in order for you to really understand where you are at, I need you to at least have 1 week's worth of documentation of certain patterns. At least. Like, you can't really know what you need to work on if you're not documenting how your day was, the thoughts that you experienced, the subconscious things that you were feeling or thinking. If you're not taking note about your emotions and how you're regulating them, are you regulating them? The way that people are talking to you, the way that you're responding to certain people, just like your day to day. How are your patterns? What are the negative patterns? Are you smoking? Are you drinking a lot? Do you do these things to feel numb? Why do you do those things to feel numb? Why do you want to avoid your emotions? Why do you want to dispass what you're trying to feel? Taking a moment, taking that time, taking that assessment, collecting that data that we talked about, collecting that data about where you are currently is crucial for you to really start to notice certain patterns in a cautious space, in a cautious mind, in a cautious reality. So once you're starting to get those current patterns, I need you guys to take a little bit more deeper look into the smaller things that you can do today that helps you align to that, to the new version or the things that you're trying to heal and let go, right? So the small things within your patterns, the data that you receive, let's just say it's negative thoughts. Let's just say it's not positive. When you are noticing that you are saying or thinking a lot of negative things constantly, this is where you could take those small moments of when you are saying something or when you are thinking something, you stop and you replace it with something positive, healthy, reaffirming, reassuring, loving, embracing, healing, instead of the opposite, instead of the anger, instead of the hatred, instead of the disreflect, instead of the dissipating. You are giving yourself that space to really see it and replace it. That to me, even though it seems so minuscule and like easy to do, is actually not as easy to do because of the fact that you have to cautiously see yourself doing that. So I am going to continue to encourage you guys is that as you guys are having this data, I need you guys to take a moment and really give yourself those moments, that honesty of saying, dang, I really just did that. Or dang, I really just met up with someone that I said that they would never get a hold of my body or my mind or my emotions, and I allowed them back in. And now that I allowed them back in, I'm having all these negative thoughts about my self-worth and my beauty and who I am, and I need to stop. I need to stop. I need to re-advocate how I'm thinking about myself just based off someone else's shit, and let me figure out my own. Like, why did I gravitate towards that? Why am I allowing myself to mitigate how I feel? Why am I going back to someone who's making me feel shitty? It's a thought pattern. It's a habit pattern. Why? Give yourself those moments to really understand the why. And honestly, just to piggyback on that, in those moments, asking yourself why and continue to ask yourself why is a great way for you to understand your why. It's like talking to a kid. And I'm going to keep saying this, when you are diving into your subconscious mind, it really is tying into your inner child in a lot of freaking ways. And so you kind of need to talk to your subconscious mind like an inner child. So if you're having a situation, and let's just say again, it's that going back to that person, but why are you going back to that person? Because they make me feel something. But what about it though? They're not making you happy. It's not happiness. It's like once in a couple months, couple weeks, they give you some type of burst of dopamine, and then now you're back to feeling like a low. Why? What about this person is that you're seeking? Is it because you're seeking something in regards to a father figure? But why are you going to someone else? Why are you not going to the father? Is the father not there? Okay, so then why do you have all these father figure, masculine, wounded energies within you that you're going to someone that's treating you like shit, just like how your father did? But why? Why? Why would you subject yourself to someone that has seriously told you that they don't care? Like, we need to dive into the why. So understanding your why, and keep asking yourself those questions of why am I going back? Why am I doing this? Have a self-reflection as to why this is happening. That goes back into that self-care of communicating to yourself, connecting to yourself, embracing or trying to see what this means so that you can understand yourself a lot more and a lot better. And with that being said, family, I'm going to leave it at that. This is you understanding your subconscious mind and your cautious mind. Your subconscious mind is the deep rooted things, whereas your cautious mind is the things that you are dealing with on a cautious day to day basis. And it's through the cautious mind that we start to be triggered within our subconscious mind in regards to certain things that's going on in our life that we may not like, or that we may need to unlearn to heal it for something else, or to just learn a new habit and provide a more habitable, consistent way of redoing things for yourself. I want to sit here and say that I really appreciate the fact that you guys are taking the time to learn more about your mind so that you can move more forward in your life that feels more in tune to you. I will continuously say here that your mind is related to your spiritual self, and that promotes self-love. And this video, we talked about how they co-align with each other and how it will promote, once you start to provide yourself that self-care, it does promote more self-love, more healing within yourself as you're diving in, but it all starts with your mind. So this is going to be video number 2 of our mind series of really just diving in and really understanding where to start so that it helps you along your healing journey. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I really do hope that this helped you guys. If it did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments. Send this to someone that you may think that they may need this. Thank you again so much for being part of the family. I love you guys so fucking much. And with that being said, I will see you guys at our next one. Bye, guys.